I'm going to be talking about this little challenge that I've got going on to help you restart your journey, because my mission in life is to equip and empower as many parents as possible to help your children who are not speaking well yet share their wisdom with the world. And even while I was in Australia, I met a few people whose children are super challenged, super, they're older than 5, 6, 7 years old. They're not using spoken language at all. They're using letter boards or other methods to communicate, echolalia, things like that. And even in those children who are not using spoken language yet, I know there will be a time that they will be able to transition into spoken language because they have important information to share with us in the world. And now is the time, with these systems being literally, many people are going to feel like the rug's pulled out from under them with the lack of support, which is what our education social system is meant to do for parents and children who struggle to have the resources that other parents and children have to access education and knowledge and all of those things. Now it's sort of everyone has what you have access on your phone at these days. And so what you're looking at now and what I hope to teach you is a way to get yourself so firmly planted in your language facilitation journey that doesn't matter what's going on outside, you're consistently facilitating improvement in your child's functional skills, the skills they need for life today and for the next 2 to 5 years, right? This is where you as a parent have the opportunity to help your child. And this workbook was created for this purpose. And I'm here to support you as you work through the process that has been proven and used by parents all over the world to figure this out. Parents who already decided to leave the system, parents who already decided because the system let them down. Already the rug was pulled out. They were not getting what they hoped for, dreamed for, depended on, and suddenly they became aware of their own reality and situation and need to do this themselves. And I want as many parents as possible to also come into that reality and stay there and not be distracted by all of these initiatives and funding stuff and concerns about, is there going to be help available? Just assume that at this stage you have to be the boss of your child's future development over the next few years, because whether you're in a great school or not, things are going to be changing for you. So let's get into the challenge. Thanks a lot for letting me steam off there for a minute. I know that those of you who follow me diligently and who are really feeling the changes of this situation, and you have a workbook. Many of you have it laying around somewhere, folks. I know that you've got one that you got into, that you started, that you have in a drawer somewhere or something like that. And if you haven't, go ahead and order yours now. So let's get into the challenge. This week, this volume 1 is going to be about mindset, because that's where it all starts. This whole process is about mindset, whether you're afraid or dependent or whatever, and that's it. In the workbook, there's 2 of them. I just wanted to put it here. There's the 11-week journey to shift behavior to speaking, but also the 11-week journey to speech that's there. And these are the same workbook. Doesn't matter which one you have, they both work for this process that we're going to be talking about. And I'm just digging into the basics here to help you use this workbook, because you need to get it out and use it. And the first step is analysis. So the biggest block to a child's functional language is the parent's mindset. It doesn't matter what kind of diagnosis they got, how old they are, where you live, how much money you have, or not, or how many kids you have, how many responsibilities you have, all of those things. Your mindset about your child and their communication and their ability to share the wisdom they have in their mind. And I'm shaking my finger at them, all those virtual kids, these super smart children all over the world who were blessed to have a parent like you who wants to know what to do, right? It doesn't matter what anyone has ever told you. You are the best language facilitator for your child because of your connection and understanding with this child. And that's why it starts with you, because the only thing that you have control over is your mindset and your direct interactions with your child every single day. This is the only thing that you have control over. You were given this child by God to facilitate their best development as their parent or caregiver, depending on whoever you are that has been gifted the opportunity to spend a lot of time with this child and raising them to be their best individual, not according to any system, because the children who are born nowadays and have been born certainly in the past 14 years have been in a new phase of reality. With Neptune and Pisces, these are intuitive, telepathic communicators who are thinking faster and higher vibration than most of the people they encounter in the world. And so many of them are shut down and locked into their being, is stuck inside this little body that's not communicating well. But you, as the parent, got this child, and that's why you're here watching this, to learn what to do. All right. Now that I've scared everybody else away, let me get into how to use this workbook. Okay. All right. So, the biggest block to a child's language is their mindset. It doesn't matter what anybody said. How you feel about your child is the number one thing. And a facilitator trusts that you are the best source of functional language. So, in my workbook, there's 4 level charts in here, and the very first level chart that you need to look at now, even if you don't have the workbook, you can screenshot this and take a look at these levels of mindset. And every one of my level charts, you'll see that above the line here, this dotted line across the middle, above this line, there is the language facilitation zone. And below this line is where parents are interacting with kids, but they're not in the mindset of facilitation. You're stuck in habit. You're overwhelmed and discouraged and doubtful, thinking there's something that's too much to whatever, to something, or not enough of something that keeps you stuck down here. And when you get rid of all of that and you just work on the connection and language modeling with your child and parenting them, that's when you'll see that this trust will grow, right? It doesn't grow unless you're stuck in mindset traps. And that's what happens to most parents of late talkers. You get stuck in mindset traps. And these happen when the focus is mainly on what is wrong. And that could come from people who are telling you, marking your child, judging you, judging whatever. And you see behaviors that you don't understand where they came from. Why is it going on? And when you focus on what's wrong, why is my child doing that behavior from some outside source, including your child's, then that's when you fall into mindset traps and you feel like, I have to do something to fix this. I have to change this, right? Your biggest influence is the voice that you listen to most, and that's what dictates your beliefs. So you have influence from a lot of things to give you the ideas that you have right now about your child, about your future, about idea, about DEI, about what I'm talking about my workbook, about your speech therapist, about all that stuff, because whatever you're watching, including this video, these are the things that dictate your beliefs. And, I'm here to remind you that you are in control of your beliefs and the things that you do. And unless it feels good in your heart and your gut feeling and your intuition and your relationship with your child, then, you're not going to buy in to that. You're not going to believe it. And when it does, you will buy into it. And even if it's fear based, people will get you to buy into their story, no matter what color it is over here, and to get you to believe something based on their initiative and what their initiative is. And just so you know, I mean, I had a lot of thought when I was putting together these mindset things. I'm watching documentaries about cults and people who, are going anti-system and what are they doing? And because I'm pretty anti-system right now, system's not supporting anybody, so it's hard to support the system. But I'm on a mission to support people and and their reality of their life with their children every day at home, in the midst of all these things that are going on financially, geographically, even in the weather and the storms and the cold or the hot or the whatever's going on all over the world. There's something happening that's triggering people into low vibration fear and worry and all of that stuff. And there are a lot of people who are making money on that. They want you to be ill-equipped and disempowered so that they can sell you something or control you with their new evolving systems, or try to keep you under the control of the old ones, right? And that's up to you. Again, who are you listening to? Because your biggest influence is where that comes from. And I just want to remind you again that there is no child that is too anything, too severe, too old, too um cognitive, too sick, too isolated, too anything, traumatized even, to want to share their wisdom with the world. A lot of times, children who have been through really tough stuff uh, grow into adults who have incredible wisdom to share with the world. So, no matter how sick they are, no matter what you're told, no matter anything, your child has wisdom that they want to share with the world, and it is your role as their facilitator to do that. So, what I want to do now is I want to do a little mindset check in. So, again, how to use this workbook. If you have the workbook, you'll see this scale in the workbook. And I want you, as you start to look at that scale, to think about the kinds of questions that I'm going to ask you right now in this mindset check-in. So what you're going to do is go ahead and pause the video when you get to the next slide and grab a pen and paper. And then you're just going to write one sentence to each question on the next slide. Don't get yourself into, massive journaling here. There's more little tasks to do. So go ahead and, when I get over here, we get to the next video, pause the video here and answer each one of these questions. What are you dependent upon? Oops, hang on a second. Woo, I didn't pause the video. Let me go back there. There we go. What are you dependent on? Who and what are you attached to, right? How do you feel about your plan? And when I say what are you dependent upon, I mean that's for everyday life, but also for you know your child's journey. Like what do you need? What couldn't you do without? That's what I'm talking about. What are you dependent on it and attached to? It could be people, it could be someone, because remember, these things potentially are gonna go away at some point. How do you feel about your plan, what you're doing every day? Are you organized about it, that kind of thing? And what's your biggest worry right now? What's causing you to start watching videos again and get back into your journey? And then what have you accomplished? I mean, just even if you find one really cool thing that you've accomplished. So go ahead and pause the video here and go ahead and answer these questions for yourself and then come on back. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about how did you get here? Okay, so that's going to be, hang on just a second, let me just pop that off. How did you get here? So I've got some more questions on the next slide, and I want you to write one sentence to answer each one of those questions. It might be one or two. But now we've got some more questions about those beliefs. Remember, we talked about how your beliefs and your actions are determined by the primary influence that you receive all the time. And so remember, you, as a result of that influence, you have depended on things, you've become attached to things, you've decided on a plan. This is what I'm going to do. You've seen some results from that plan. All of those things. That's where your mindset is coming from. Because remember, it's not about what you do today, it's about what you do every day in your habits as a result of what you believe is going to help you have a happy life. If it isn't fun, it isn't fun every single day. Okay, because that's the goal here, is not to get somewhere faster than someone else, but is to find the way to feel comfortable and successful raising your late talking child every single day. That's what this is about. And your mindset about that job, that number one job that you were given by God. That's what we're talking about here. And I know there are other things that you have to be responsible for, but this is your number one job that you were given by God to work on right now. So let's figure it out. How did you get here? Okay. So remember, you're just going to pause the video. Oh no. Let me get back over there to the next questions, which are right here. Okay. So why do you need to have or do this thing that you are attached or dependent on? Why? Why are you attached to it? Write it down. And then what do you struggle to do on your own? What either doesn't get done because you don't have help, or you wait for someone else to do that thing for you, okay? And then think about these things as far as your household, because if you struggle, then if you're struggling to do it on your own and you think it's important to get done and it's not getting done, that's why I need you to start thinking about why, how you got to this place, because you're struggling. And then what's motivating your everyday actions? What's motivating the way you speak to your child, the way you respond when you see a behavior you don't like? What's motivating those everyday actions? Is it, figure it out? I'm not going to give you any ideas. I want you to find out your own motivation. That's your mindset. And think about where you got that motivation. Who motivated you to do those everyday actions that you do in your plan? And then what do you feel is too much to handle, to this, to that, that you just want to tap out of? And what have you accomplished? I want you to think again about how you got those accomplished things happen. All right. So that's your awareness task, to help you realize your mindset about what can happen here, because you've done a lot, but you can also waste a lot of time chasing after methods to change a child's behavior, because you are so attached to making something stop or making something start that you're stuck on a remedy, a biomed remedy, a therapy remedy, a behavior plan, something, right? But you can wait excuse me, you can waste a lot of time chasing after methods to try to change a child's behavior, because you're too attached to that outcome of this has to stop or this has to start. Okay. A facilitator's mindset, and here's that gauge again, that level chart again. A facilitator mindset trusts that you are the best source of functional language. So remember, if you're stuck in habits of prompting, or whinging is this new word that I heard in Australia. If you're whinging or whining about your life, overwhelmed, distressed, and depending on other people to do the job for you because you don't believe that you're capable, that's where your mindset needs to change, because I can help you figure that out. That's what this workbook is all about, is you figuring out that you're the best source, right? So I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to prove to yourself, because that's what this video is all about. The workbook is sitting in the drawer because you didn't give it the best shot you could, because you doubted that it would work for you because of one of these two things. Somebody said it's too this. They said I'm too wacko, or you're too busy, or how could you possibly homeschool three children all by yourself with one income? All those things that people said about you, or what was going on with you, or all of that stuff. That's where your mindset has come from. And remember, that influence sticks with you as long as you keep it, as long as you hold on, you're attached to it, right? So you'll miss out on opportunities due to mindset blocks. Your kids will be playing and you'll be sad, complaining to other people, or yelling at your child. And when they're frustrated with you, and you get frustrated with them because there wasn't enough pre-teaching, or you whatever happened, there's lots of things that happens that cause these opportunities to get missed, opportunities that you could help your child be more successful, but you miss because you're distracted by your mindset. Okay. And so you're going to have to take some new action to rise above your current mindset. Just like in that level, we get your level chart, we have to get above the line. What can you do better? What can you learn to do better? What are you struggling with that you can learn to do better? Or what can you give up that you don't want to do, right? That's not working down here. What kind of help do you want? What would you need? I mean, I know that it's you can't do this alone, and you need to find community, but what kind of community do you need? If you're going to work together with someone, another mom, or a group of people, or a homeschool group, or who knows, a speech therapy social class, or a community of other language facilitators, or whatever you're working with, other people to support and equip and empower you. What does that look like? What do you need from those people? Because and then what can you offer? What can you offer to a group of people that will help them? Because it does take a village. What habit can you change? What can you learn to do cooperatively with other people, instead of trying to do it all yourself and then getting frustrated when it's impossible, okay? Or the expectations aren't met. What do you believe is not working? That you can give up and do more of the things that are working, because there's that 80-20 rule. When we realize that 80% of what we do might work, the other 20% we have to get rid of and try something else new. A facilitator mindset's focusing on helping the child find success. There is no need to judge how well a child does anything. Your role as a facilitator is to attract them to listen to you so they try, because they're not going to learn anything unless they try. And you want to show them how to do things properly in the way that the ideal is going to be, and then expect them to try their best to get towards that, and never stop teaching to get to the best that is for your child, by giving them opportunities and teaching to facilitate their independent learning of the skills, talents, gifts that they're born with, that they need to share with the world. It's your job as their parent to facilitate their best, not the best according to the standard of these systems that are breaking down anyway, okay? So if your success in your house is getting dressed and keeping things clean, or eating food, or supporting you while you help the baby, or whatever is going on, that's how you can help them find success. Now, in the workbook, there's profile pages for both the late talker and the language facilitator, and they identify the most important topics to focus on every day. You can see here that it's about, what do you want, or what do they want? What are they asking for? What do you need from them? All of that stuff. You need to know what that is ahead of time, or you're just going to be chasing after, it's not organized enough to help you develop a system of language to learn from. Okay. And then frustrated, what's frustrating you and what's frustrating your child? Because you know. And then the big current issues that are frustrating you, a certain behavior that maybe is driving you crazy, or a certain habit that is driving your child crazy, right? What's making them scream and yell when you lock something up or hide something or try to manipulate them or control them? Guess what you'll see back is hiding, manipulation, sneakiness, all of that stuff will come right back to you, right? And then what makes them happy? What's comfortable? What makes you happy? What experiences do you love that you want to do more of every day, but you're afraid of? These kinds of things. And what's your mindset level? And what's your child's connection level? We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But these profile pages are what helps you to understand what is important to talk about, because you've got to start talking your head off and teaching your kids the behavior and language that you want to see. It's not going to happen until you do it every day. Functional activities. Well, how does the clothing get clean? How does it get put away? How does it happen that, even if in this case it's just towels, right? How do these towels get so dirty? And then how do they get clean? And how do they get available? So we need them for the next time we need towels. This is the very basics of functional activities that you can empower yourself. You see, because once you start to teach your child functional activities that you need help with, that they are involved in, getting towels dirty happens in every household, every day. Towels, towels, towels. This is one thing I saw a lot of in homes was towels getting washed, because kids get dirty, they go out, it's hot, they're going swimming, they're doing things, these towels accumulate, they have to be cleaned and dried and ready, folded and ready to be used again. Every single household should be working on towel maintenance with your late talker. They get them dirty, it's a very easy thing, and you can't even damage a towel very much, right? Unless you pour bleach on it or something. But that's your job, is to teach your kids how to do things that they are involved in, and start with the basics. And once you do something as easy as towel management in your household, and everybody's taking care of what happens when the towel gets wet, and where does it go, and how does it get cleaned, and where do I have it for the next time I need a towel, just that one process that you facilitate with your late talker is going to empower you to say, hey, if I can teach this, what else can I teach? Cooking, cleaning, playing, riding bikes, playing sports, learning academics, whatever, right? But it has to start somewhere with you being so empowered that you can teach your kid something. This child who other people said is too whatever to teach them anything, they don't understand anything, but you can teach them how to manage their towel, and you can teach them how to manage their food and their clothes and their bathing and all of those things that they do every day in your home. You can do that. In fact, you need to. You need to do that. And this is where I have everybody start. It doesn't matter how old your child is, if they're 18 months or 18 years. Functional activities offer every single day opportunities to facilitate the behavior you want to see in one little aspect of your life. And here are a million, not a million, but a whole bunch to inspire you in the workbook, these focus topics, because a facilitator mindset is focused on giving your child more natural language models to learn from. And when you're talking about everyday jobs such as, dressing and washing and caring for pets, and personal skills like, taking turns and waiting, and household things, and planning for activities like decorating for holidays and upcoming, events and visitors from people, things like that. And then functional language for, why we do things and how we do things and the way things need to be done and why people feel a certain way. And all of those things are your opportunities to talk your head off with these kids. They need to see face to face, one on one, in your home every day what better language looks and sounds like. They need to be an experience of that and see how you are using this language over and over and over again. And that's the other thing that the workbook's about. The way you talk really matters. And it doesn't matter what you say. I mean, how you talk so much as what you're saying. Because if you are saying the things that are going on in your hands, in your physical experience, but also in your child's mind, that you know what they're saying, that's when magically they start saying the things that you're saying, because they're thinking the things that you're saying at the same time you're saying it. The right words, the right way, at the right time. That's called language facilitation talk. And at the same time, you've chosen these functional activities. You know you can teach your child easy things like towel management, but you're consistent every single day teaching them and talking about where the towels go and how they go there and why we do it. And this one's too wet and this one's okay and this one is stinky, or we can use this one again and hang it on the rod, and all the things, that how to much soap goes in the washer and these are wet and dry, and transfer them in the daddy's towel and mommy's towel. There's so much language in just one topic. You don't ever have to worry about what to say as long as you're talking about the topic. If you think it, I've got to fold this in half, I'd prefer to roll them, they should go in the box, say it out loud. That's it. Because once you start doing and saying the things that your child is thinking at the same time, their language neuroplasticity starts to build and grow. This is how language is developed functionally, naturally, in the middle of an experience. Okay? So, your focus topic of what you choose to do every day, all day, it matters, because you're the best because you always know what your child is communicating. Even this tiny baby, this mom knows what this tiny baby's thinking. She knows what her big boy's thinking. She knows what the kids are thinking when they're in the other room, right? You always know what they're communicating. If you're not intuitively connected and you're judging their behavior, then you're not going to. But when you are connected with your kids and meeting their needs and responding to their communication, you always know what it's all about. You always know what's going on. And this is the other chart in the workbook that you need to focus on this week, is the levels of connection with the language facilitator. This is you knowing how connected your child is with you. And there's also a dotted line where below the line, your child is bored, overwhelmed, or literally afraid of being controlled or manipulated by you. So they're out. That's when you see them. They'll even act dumb if they think that you're trying to control or manipulate them. But when you move above the line and you understand, oh, this is what you're trying to tell me, this is how you feel, this is what you want to do, and this is how I feel, and this is what I want to do, and this is my opinion about it, and you start equal give and take, then you know that your child is curious and happy and exploring and listening, connected with you, because that's all you can ask for. It's all you can ask for, is your child to join you and listen to you when you talk to them about the things they need to learn for their everyday life in your house. Okay? We're not worrying about the system. DEI, idea, funding, this, that, schools, this, that, they're coming and going. They're different, so different everywhere all over the world. I can't tell everybody do this or that. One school might be amazing for your child, but another might be catastrophic and damaging for your child. That's up to you to figure that out. But then in the midst of trying to figure out who else is out there in the world, what are you doing every day in your house? Who's doing towel management? Who's cooking food? Who's cleaning the floor? Who's tidying up the toys? Who's making the beds? Who's mowing the lawn? Driving the car? I mean, who's doing all that stuff? Somebody. And these are things that you can do together with your child, okay? Connected facilitator understands that all behavior is communication, including the behavior that you use that's nonverbal. Okay. And when you are connected and in the right mindset, you're going to say the right thing, because facilitators say out loud what they know the child is thinking to bring their ideas to life, because that's the whole mission here as a facilitator. Is this child has ideas, wisdom, opinions, whether you agree or not, they want to share it with the world. They've got wisdom to share, and it's up to you to do it, and you're the one that is connected in their brain to know how to teach them, because facilitators say out loud what they know the child is thinking and bring their ideas into life, the 3D life that we see around us all the time. Okay. It's up to you to demonstrate how to use speech functionally, the right words, the right way, at the right time. And in the workbook, there's all the details about how to use language facilitation talk and even strategies to help move those things up. Because the fact is, when a late talker hears the words they need to share their ideas, they will listen and learn and try to say those things to their best. And when they don't hear words they need, when they don't hear words that empower them, when they don't hear words that are related to what they're thinking, that are controlling, that they know, they see, feel energy of a person coming at them before they even open their mouth. And then when those words don't match, hi, Johnny, I'm here to manipulate you. When that stuff doesn't match, these kids will act like they are rocks. What are you talking about, lady? I don't know what you're doing, right? On purpose, so they leave them alone. They know when someone is aware of their brilliance and shares that brilliance in the world for them, gives them a way, demonstrates how to share their wisdom with the world through your communication and nonverbal gestures and letter boards, or whatever you're inspired to use with your child. If they respond to that thing and they pick it up and they want to expand it, that's it. And spoken language is the only thing that I know of outside of a letter board where they're literally spelling or typing the words that they're feeling in their heart, not a picture that is pre-programmed. Even echolalic phrases that you're trying to say to your child, come here, go with me. It's all about functional activities. Your child's going to pick up what they need to share their ideas. And that's the only way their neuroplasticity is going to work. Otherwise, it's a prompted response based on an exchange. If I say this, they'll give me the thing. If I say this, they'll leave me alone. If I say this, I get what I need, but it's not allowing me to share my wisdom with the world. It's just getting my basic needs met, right? And many of you are stuck there because you have chased other methods to get this far. You've prompted your kid to answer yes, no. You've got this thumbs up, thumbs down going. You've got, and you feel thrilled because the fact there was for so long they couldn't answer yes, no questions, because literally for years you've been working on trying to get to that goal, which isn't giving you the language you need. This is what you need to do. You need to start leaving those prompted everything behind and get started with language facilitation. Restart, right? We've got these retrogrades going on right now. Mercury retrogrades coming, Venus retrogrades going on right now. It's perfect time for you to redo. Think about what you're saying. You can get intuitive guidance in a safe space at wavesofcommunication.com. That's what I do. I help parents figure out what it is that your child needs from you every day and how to overcome whatever's blocking that from happening. Okay. There is a functional step-by-step process. Check the links in the description to order your workbook and look at all my other things. I have workshops. I have, just go ahead to wavesofcommunication.com and don't forget to end up signing up for the worksheets, the workbook, the free get started guide, my weekly newsletter. I'm here to help you figure this out. I wrote these things inspired from the children who are late talking to give you what you need so that you can give them what they need, which is more spoken language. All right. So I know most of you are going to be watching this on the replay. Stay tuned. Next week, I'll be back with volume 2. This week, work on your mindset and work on your connection with your late talker. Get that workbook and figure out where you got stuck before, if you got started, and dig back into it. If you have questions about the workbook or anything like that, you can go ahead and post them out in the comments on this video. And I just want to thank you again, remind you that you are the best language facilitators for your child on the planet. There is no one better than you to teach your child how to use the words they need to share their wisdom with the world so the world can understand and benefit from them. And don't be worried about systems going away. Just get equipped and empowered yourself. And that's what I'm here for. If you have any questions, reach out to me at wavesofcommunication.com. Bye for now.